Geico Gecko, I'm like speechless.
Oh, I love how I save $900 when I switch my car insurance to Geico.
Yeah, you really do get more with Geico. Oh, Geico just makes things fast and easy.
And their customer service reps always know just what I need.
Did you just,
Shh. Is she allowed to do that?
She's mad with power.
Shh.
You shh, 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 shh.
Get more than just savings.
Get more with Geico.
New CBS Tuesday.
We decorated Marie. Murder some dude. And kidnap a woman.
This might be about revenge.
It's just so weird.
NCIS is all new CBS Tuesday.
This is Fox 59 Sports Overtime.
Hello and welcome to Sports Overtime here on Fox 59. I'm Chris Hagan. Now, after a perfect month of October, the Colts start November on a losing note. The Horseshoe hitting the halfway point of the season, owning the best record in the NFL at 7-1. But that would change today. Daniel Jones looking to continue his hot start to the season. And it was another great first drive, converting 2 fourth downs, including the quarterback sneak by Jones for the touchdown. It was 7-zip. Here we go. The game starts to change right here. Colts on the move again, but T.J. Watt strips Jones, who was looking downfield. Steelers recovered and turned the takeaway into 7 to tie it up. Just 2 plays later on offense for Jones. Turns it over again, throws it right to Peyton Wilson. He's on the other team. Takes it back to the Indy 14. Steelers in great field position, and they cash in. Aaron Rodgers hits Pat Freiermuth. 12-yard touchdown. Steelers go ahead for the first time. It was 17-7 at the half. Some work to do. Third quarter, Colts on the move again, but Jones throws his second interception. Wilson deflects the pass, and rookie Jack Sawyer hauls it in. Leads to more Steeler points. 24-10 now in the fourth. Jones strip sack for the second time. Alex Highsmith with the sack. Derek Harmon with the recovery. Colts still trying to rally late. Touchdown to Josh Downs. Made it 27-17 with 4.5 to play. The Colts would get the ball back after a Pittsburgh fumble, so here we go. But Jones throws his third interception of the game, and that pretty much was that. They show fight to the very end, but come up short 27-20, the final for Pittsburgh, and our Dave Griffiths was there.
Out of the gates, the Colts offense looked unstoppable. Then they proceeded to stop themselves, repeatedly.
A lot of the times we beat ourselves today. With the penalties, that's definitely on us. And they have great players on their front too. So credit to them.
Turnovers were just disruptive, right? Just like when we get going and then we have a turnover. So there's a lot of things to clean up.
You take away the takeaways and we don't turn the ball over, I think we're moving the ball down the field and scoring a lot of points again. So I got a ton of faith in our offense and our guys for sure.
MVP caliber seasons from both Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor hit major roadblocks in Pittsburgh. Taylor found running lanes hard to come by with just 45 rushing yards, and Jones was sacked 5 times while committing 5 of the Colts' 6 turnovers.
To turn over as many times as we did today, you're gonna have a tough time winning. So obviously that's on me. I got to protect the ball better.
It doesn't feel good, but we do understand it's a long season, and the great teams, they find a way to bounce back. They find a way to get better from this.
The Colts must have left the complimentary football that led them to the NFL's best record back in Indianapolis. The Horseshoe defense only gave up 220 yards to Pittsburgh, but couldn't provide that game-changing takeaway that could have turned things around for the offense.
Obviously, I wish we could have came up with a bigger play earlier in the game, maybe to help spark our offense, but just got something to build on and something to continue to grow from moving forward. It's not good enough, you know what I mean? So going into November, we got to play our best ball. We got to get closer to it. So, no one cares about what happened in September, October.
The Colts leave Western Pennsylvania still with the NFL's best record, though now tied for that honor with a few teams, and need to get back in the saddle quickly before a challenging second half to the season begins. With the Colts in Pittsburgh, I'm Dave Griffiths.
All right, thanks, Dave. Now let's bring in J&V from 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. John, I said this morning on the Blue Zone, I felt like we'd see a much different Steelers defense today than we did against Green Bay the other night, and that's exactly what we saw.
Well, yeah, we did too, and I was completely opposite. I said all week they looked old and decrepit and couldn't play, and they looked far from that this afternoon. They were on a mission, and certainly with more of a focus than we saw them last week on Sunday night against Green Bay. And I think the other side of that was, too, the Colts just didn't really have it. They played down to that level. And you kind of wonder if that was the Daniel Jones that, for the most part, they saw with the New York Giants, because they got up in his face on the rush, came off the edges, and he was hurrying throws, misjudging throws. It was really all what we haven't seen in Daniel Jones, and really this offense in general too. But the offensive line struggled, so it was one of those days where things just got worse. Now they kept going at it, but I thought Pittsburgh just overwhelmingly swamped the Colts in a fashion in which we haven't seen, well, going back to last year, certainly. It was unfortunate.
I know a lot of fans were like, you always hear, hey, play the next play, worry about the next play. And time after time, you thought, okay, the Colts, they're going to get back in this. They're moving the football. And then one mistake after another, 6 turnovers. But not all on Daniel Jones. I think it goes back and really changed the outlook of this game was the muff punt there. That was a huge turning point because the Colts were in complete control up until then.
Well, certainly you can't turn the ball over 6 times and expect to beat you and I anywhere. But, I look at that, too. That was just kind of part of it. I do blame a lot on the quarterback because a lot of what we saw from the quarterback today was completely opposite of what we had witnessed. And I think you and I talked about this as well, Chris. I think this team offensively has played better because of the decision-making of Daniel Jones, meaning he's made everybody else better, from the offensive line to the skill position players. I mean, we saw a non-existent Tyler Warren for the most part today, right? Not as impactful as he has been so far this year. Jonathan Taylor couldn't run it. So I think the quarterback, the impact he has on the game and the decision-making, I think really lifts this team up offensively. And that was the issue for the most part for me on a day that was rather forgettable for the Colts offense.
It's unbelievable. You had the best record in the league going into this one, and you talked about, hey, Jonathan Taylor, MVP talk. Same thing with Daniel Jones. The rookie had been so spectacular. They have taken care of the football, and somehow all of that goes out the window. Do you take this as, hey, this is a one-off, they'll get back to work next week in Germany, or did you see some things that maybe could be a cause of concern? Because this schedule is going to take a real step up in competition in the second half of the season.
I still think they most definitely need to go out and investigate some things defensively. Trade deadline's coming up on Tuesday, Chris. I am still firm on that belief that Chris Ballard has to do that, has to add to this team. And I think we're going to find out a lot in Berlin, Germany, coming up next Sunday about this team, because now I think that prioritizes, Chris, that game with Atlanta. They lose again today, but looked a lot better against New England in the process. But I think that prioritizes that game maybe a lot more than what we thought going into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just looked like a team that had been crushed all week long by the local media there, and like me suggesting that they were over, they were done, and they came out fighting, and the Colts just couldn't match it. And maybe that's a blueprint now, Chris, teams lay out defensively for the Colts. What you can do in rushing Daniel Jones into making mistakes has an overall profound effect on the entirety of this team, and that's what happened.
It's funny how one game can change the outlook, because the Jaguars eked out a win against Vegas, so now they're just one game back in the loss column. They have to play them twice. So halfway through the season, looking pretty good, but still a lot of football to be played, John. We'll be listening tomorrow starting at 3 o'clock, and we'll get some schnitzel out and talk to you again next week.
You got it, buddy. Thanks, Chris.
All right, let's hit a break. Back with more team coverage right after this.